What's up, MFFLs? Harrison Graham and Jeffrey Cooperstein with you as we get closer and closer to the NBA trade deadline. We are taking your trade ideas and talking about them here on Mavericks Today. Coop, I'm excited about this.
Got some good
trades cooked up by the MFFLs. Should be a good episode here.
Absolutely, but before we get started, make sure to turn on your notifications. Click that bell icon so you don't miss a video from Mavericks Today. We'll be putting out content pretty much every day from here on out, leading up until the trade deadline. So stay locked in because we got a lot of content for you guys coming here soon.
Yeah, first step, you got to be subscribed. Then you click that little bell icon, select all. Boom, you know exactly when we publish a video. All right, let's get to Johnny's trade idea first. Alex Caruso and Andre Drummond to Dallas for Maxi, Kleber, Seth Curry, and 2 second-round picks. I would love this, but I think the Bulls would laugh in your face. There's been rumors, Coop, that Caruso may fetch 2 first-round picks, but even if it's just one, I don't think Kleber, Curry, and 2 seconds add up to what they would want, and especially since you're getting Drummond, who's at least worth probably a second or 2 seconds on his own.
Yeah, well, I love the idea. I think it would just take more draft capital to pull this off. The Mavericks really don't have the ammo to well, if it's that, then they do, but I think that would require 2 second-round picks in that deal to get both Drummond and Caruso. Look, both of those guys would be fantastic on this Mavericks roster right now. Caruso would provide them a huge defensive upgrade at wing, and we know what Drummond would bring as far as the rebounding and his upgrade on defense that he would bring from Dwight Powell and Richaun Holmes would be. This would be a great trade for the Mavericks. If they could even get one of those guys, I think I'd be really happy with it. We'll see how it goes. I think the Bulls are going to be active at this deadline. It just depends on what kind of offers they get for those 2 guys.
Put the trade back up. I kind of want to share what I think would get you more in the range. I think you would have to swap Seth Curry for a Josh Green, and then maybe instead of Kleber, you go Jaden Hardy, and then you add your first. So a first, 2 seconds, Green, Hardy for Caruso and Drummond. I think I get you in the ballpark. I still don't know if it's enough, quite frankly. Guys, Alex Caruso is very well valued in this league.
Yeah, teams love him.
He would fetch, I think, an unprotected first on his own, and maybe more. So, I don't think this framework gets it done. But if you add a rotation piece in Josh Green, a guy with some potential, Jaden Hardy, and your first, then maybe that gets you into the ballpark in the range of what the Bulls would be willing to accept.
This next one, Harrison, is absolutely juicy. This one from Leandro.
Baby.
The Dallas Mavericks received D'Angelo Russell, Rui Hachimura, 2029 first-round pick. The Lakers received Kyrie Irving.
I got to pass here. Kyrie's lack of availability is frustrating, but I don't think you could trade him right after you just gave him that deal unless it's for another superstar, because that would piss off Luka. I don't think D'Lo and Hachimura are good enough players, although they are both legit rotation players on a playoff team. Sure, you get a future first, and that's an asset you could flip, but I'm still not taking this deal. If you were going to move on from Kyrie, I think you'd have to get Austin Reeves in the package.
Yep.
And even then, I still don't think you do it, because you have to try and prioritize winning in these next few years, and Luka needs a legit sidekick to do that. I don't think Kyrie's a perfect sidekick for A, the fit with Luka, and B, his lack of availability, but he's better than anything you see here.
No question.
I don't think this is much hesitation at all. You're hanging up that phone.
I'll say this. At first, I thought I was going to have zero hesitation. I had an ounce of hesitation. Would I actually consider this?
If it was Reeves instead of Russell, I would at least think about it.
Yeah.
I still am probably saying no, but
I really like Rui Hachimura, and you would get the first-round pick back that you traded for Kyrie, but at the end of the day, this is not a deal that the Mavericks are going to make. Kyrie is the best player in the deal, and the way I like to look at trades is if you're getting the best player in the deal, chances are you win that deal. That's kind of how I like to look at it, at least, and the Mavericks would be trading the best player in this deal.
Would you guys make this trade? Type A for accept or D for decline? I think I got to decline. If it's Austin Reeves, maybe I think about it, but I just don't think that helps you right now. So I gotta hit that D.
I'm excited to see what the responses are on this one. I think it's going to be more split than we think.
Okay, I'll be curious. Before we get to the next trade idea from our MFFLs here on Mavericks Today, be sure to get signed up with PrizePicks. The Super Bowl is close. There's basketball games every day. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. PrizePicks is the best daily fantasy app out there. And listen, if you don't know what you're doing, PrizePicks simplifies it. You know why? Because they give you stat projections. You select more or less. That's it. There's nothing complicated about it. They have simplified it for you. You can create your account in less than a minute. You can create an entry in less than a minute. 2 to 6 player entries. It is simple. And guess what? If you still are a little bit confused after you sign up, DM Cooper I. We will walk you through the process. PrizePicks.com/CLNS, code CLNS. Make some money with PrizePicks.
This is this person's real username.
Sugar Daddy.
I promise you.
I love the confidence.
I love the confidence, and I kind of like this trade idea. The Mavericks receive Lauri Markkanen, and the Jazz get Grant Williams, Max Prosper, and the first-round pick back in return. I'm in on that for sure. I think Markkanen fetches a little bit more than that, and I bet he's going to be a hot commodity this offseason if he's not traded by the Jazz at this deadline. We know the Mavericks' history with European big men.
Yeah, I mean, look, he last year took that big step forward and became a legit all-star. He's not going to give you a ton defensively, but he can play the 4, he can play the 5. He's obviously an upgrade over Grant Williams by a pretty wide margin. I'm still bullish about Max's future, but I'd be willing to trade him in a deal for a player like Lauri Markkanen. And, yeah, just the 1 first-round pick. I would do it in a heartbeat. I'm not sure it's enough for Utah. You may have to throw, another piece in there, both your seconds as well, but even if you have to throw both your seconds in there, I don't think that's stopping anybody. I would definitely
for sure
pull the trigger on that.
And I think Markkanen also can play alongside Derek Lively, so it doesn't have to be a one or the other. They can play on the court at the same time. And then all of a sudden you fix the Mavs size problem where you have 7'1" Lively, you have 7'1" Lauri Markkanen, and then you have 6'7" Luka running the point. You're all of a sudden one of the bigger teams in the NBA as opposed to being one of the smallest, which they are right now.
Yeah, it would certainly be a big lift in that regard. Subscribe today if you want to get one of your trade ideas in before the trade deadline. Subscribe and fire them away down in the comment section. Clock's ticking. Deadline's this Thursday. So hit the sub button. Fire off your trade idea. We'll try to work it in. Jose's trade idea, Matisse Thybulle. Yes, for Josh Green in a second. I don't think so, Coop. You and I aren't the biggest Josh Green fans, and I do think Thybulle's probably a little bit better of a defender, but Josh Green, even if it is inconsistent, I think gives you more offensively. I'd probably just keep Josh Green. And by the way, you can't trade for him anyway. It's a moot point. But
exactly.
But even if you could, I still don't think I'd do that trade.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would either. We obviously know the Mavericks tried to get Matisse Thybulle. He signed an offer sheet with the Mavericks and wanted to be here. But Portland matched his $11 million per season deal, so the Mavericks can't trade for him this year, and I really do like the player, but I'm not giving up another asset to get him in return. I like Josh Green a little bit more than Thybulle, I still think. I would have loved to have them together because I think that'd be a pretty good wing combo.
Yeah, and remember, that was the kind of the hope, right? Is
exactly.
That you add him to a young guy that's similar to him skill set-wise in Josh Green, you can kind of platoon them. Even if you think Thybulle is 5% better than Josh Green, I know second-round picks aren't worth a ton. There's not enough gap there to give up one of the few picks you actually have, though. So
no, there's not. And I think especially with where the Mavericks are right now as far as their asset management goes, they really can't afford to give up a second-round pick for a guy like Matisse Thybulle, who, by the way, has vastly improved as a player over the last 18 months or so. He's turned into a very respectable three-point shooter, which is something you couldn't say in his time in Philadelphia. Was that Doc Rivers? Whatever that was, his role he was playing, who knows? But I like the player, and maybe the Mavericks could revisit a Matisse Thybulle trade in the offseason. I just don't believe it happens at the deadline. Well, it can't happen at the deadline, number one, and if it could, I don't think the Mavericks would be willing to give up a second-round pick for him.
Completely agree with that. So let's recycle through these trade ideas. You let us know which one is your favorite. If you like Johnny's trade idea with the Bulls, Caruso and Drummond for Kleber, Seth, and 2 seconds type 1, that's my favorite. It's just not enough to get it done. If you like Leandro's of D'Lo and Hachimura and a first for Kyrie Irving type 2, this is juicy. How about Sugar Daddy? If you like this one, type 3, Lauri Markkanen for Grant Williams, Max, and a first. Or if you like that last one, even if it technically can't happen right now, Matisse Thybulle for Josh Green in a second, type 4. Let us know which one your favorite trade is. All right, Coop. Clock is ticking.
It's ticking. We've got 5 days before the trade deadline. Let's get it. Hopefully the Mavericks make some sort of move, no matter how big or small. I just need that in my life. I don't care what it is. I just need them to make a move.
There's something about like
when your
free
team makes a move,
agency or the deadline. Yeah, it's just like, remember how the Seth signing?
We were hype.
I mean, he's done basically nothing.
He's done zero at all.
But in the moment, it was incredible.
Yeah, it's like, let's go. We did something. Anything. Mavericks, I beg you, Mark Cuban, Nico Harrison, do something.
Make a move. He's Coop. I'm Harrison. Hit that sub button. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you soon.